Hi, I'm Ashley Adamson, and I'm on a farm right now. This is my new place in Washington, and I wanted to talk to you about this experience that I had last night to do with my estrogen. Uh-oh, are we gonna find me? Okay, there I am. And yeah, I wanted to share this with you because I think it's a really important and subtle concept to think about when you're taking estrogen. So I don't know if you've ever had this experience before, but have you ever felt like when the estrogen gets into your system, you can feel it? Like you can literally feel the part within your mind, within your brain, that something has changed. What does that feel like to you? I kind of feel it right in here in the pineal gland. That's actually the location where your hormonal system is managed and maintained. This little place here, the pineal gland, which in the energy and the metaphysical realm is also called the third eye, which I find fascinating. By the way, isn't this just beautiful? I'm gonna sit here on this swinging chair, hang out with you for a bit. So, this is better lighting. So this is kind of what I wanted to talk to you about, which is, what's up, Mo? Farm animals. This is what I wanted to talk to you about, like okay, I'll tell you my story and then we'll talk a little bit about finding this within you, because that's really what I want you to get from this, is to think about how estrogen is affecting your perception and how you can enable some of the changes that estrogen is trying to push you in the direction of, but perhaps you're holding yourself back from. I don't know if this happens to you, but can you recall a moment where you have felt like you're going to hold yourself back from embracing some feminine aspect of yourself? Like there's something that comes up and it says, this doesn't feel safe to be this feminine or to dress this femininely or to look this way. Do you know what I mean? So that's kind of the thing that I want to elicit for you, because I think this is really important, is to find this lever, so to speak, within you that allows you to embrace more of your femininity. Because let's face it, there's times where we hold ourselves back, right? Like, can you think of these moments? And there's also this kind of like, who are you? Like, who's the real you, right? Like, have you always existed as you are? Are you changing into the person that you're meant to be and that is truly you? Or are you just making it up, and are you making up this new you? And I would say that on this kind of topic of who is you, you are always you, but there are all these layers that are built up on top of you that say you can't be you, that you have to be scared, or that you shouldn't allow yourself to be you in a certain way, or that there's just, there's something wrong with you, so you can't be you. Do you know what I mean? So let me tell you the story. So basically, backstory, I inject estrogen. And I actually get it from Ukraine, and now that there's a war in Ukraine, I can't get that estrogen, so I'm gonna figure that out shortly. But I have a 6-month supply. So I inject estrogen, and I inject estrogen every Tuesday, but I forgot, and so it was Wednesday, and now I haven't injected estrogen, and my body is essentially in an empty state. Like there's no estrogen, there's no anything. And so when I injected the estrogen and I was going to bed, I felt what became familiar to me as a part of my femininity. I could feel within the system inside, like go past the eyes and to just go inside yourself for a second. Like close your eyes and see if you can find the part within you that can feel this femininity that is pulsating within your mind and also in your heart. Okay, come back to me now. See if you found that, right? So like that part I didn't know existed. I kind of always thought that, your femininity is innate and it comes from within you as who you are. But what I uncovered in kind of this blank state of my hormones is that estrogen is actually also creating a sense of femininity within you, and that it's promoting a sense of femininity. But as a trans person, you also have perhaps this shell of masculinity that you've had to take on, that there's a part of you that has to emulate being masculine for the fact that you had to protect yourself at some point, right? Like, have there been times where you've had to take on the masculine shell to perform and to be a certain man or a certain way of being manly so that you're accepted or that you're safe or, something of that matter? So that's what I came up against last night. I was feeling this femininity that this estrogen was providing, but at the same time, I could feel the masculine shell try to hijack the quality of these thoughts and the quality of this thinking. And this is super, super subtle. And so you got to take time to get to this point, but it's there, and I'm laying out the track to get there because this is huge. Because when you get down to this kind of level of thinking, this is where you start to really work at the nuts and bolts of who you are as a person and how you operate. I would bet that 50% of trans women never get to this point because they never analyze and look deep within and are reflective enough to notice how subtle this can be. The estrogen that you take can be used as a vehicle to create momentum in allowing the feminine thoughts and the feminine feelings of yourself emerge. And the thing that stops this is your own knee-jerk reaction, your own neurological tendencies and ways of processing that create perhaps more masculine feeling pointed thoughts. Like these masculine thoughts that I was experiencing were a little bit more pointed, a little bit more sharp, a little less soft. And it may be different for you because the way that you experience femininity and masculinity can be unique to who you are. But I think there's a lot of overlaps and commonalities, and society plays a big role in that, right? So this forest is just fucking beautiful. So I wanted to kind of like elicit this because I want you to think about this when you're taking estrogen, when you're experiencing your femininity, to see what parts within you can illuminate and come to the forefront, and how can you discard some of these thoughts that make you feel more masculine. When I had this moment last night, I could feel like I could slip into a more thankful, a more open and soft, gentle mode, but it was actually a little uncomfortable. So lean into that discomfort a little bit. I encourage you to explore this and to see what you find, because I mean, life is an adventure, and who knew you would make it this far and you would be where you are today. You have so much further to go, and I want to just give you this kind of energetic transmission and gift from the forest out here in Washington. Close your eyes for a second. Imagine yourself 6 months from now. Imagine how you're going to feel. It's a little past summer. Imagine this version of yourself as a better version, a version that you're seeking, the goal that you want to be. Find that version of you, happier, lighter, maybe stronger, has more integration of who you are. See if you can sink into that feeling, and then imagine that feeling coming closer to you right now. Yeah. Feel that feeling of that future you in you today. And hopefully you can use that version of you in the future that's today to help anchor and guide you into the future that you want. I'm Ashley Adamson. Thank you for joining me. And if you'd like to support me, please support me on Patreon. You can also get my book, embracing, what is it called? Embracing self-acceptance. And I also have a femininity program if you want to check it out. I'll see you in another episode soon. Bye.